Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest transfer rumours and gossip, that's currently going on in the media, as I currently said. So a few things to update you with today on this video, so if you do consider subscribe as always, and if you do consider press that like button, as I said. So we'll discuss with you a bit about Chelsea's rumours today, and we'll discuss with you a bit about Arsenal's transfer news, and we'll update you, with everything else, that's going on in the media. So reportedly now, we'll start with Chelsea, as you can see as my main headline. So reportedly, we know Sarri is looking to bolster his squad, as we all know, in the Chelsea team, because he's quite a few players that could leave Chelsea, as we all know. And we know Sarri's number one target is AC Milan's Gonzalo Higuain, as we all currently know. The report stemming yesterday, the Spanish press reported that Gonzalo Higuain was close to making the move to Chelsea, and it did actually say it could have been finalised the move yesterday, reportedly. But the Spanish press reportedly saying that Gonzalo Higuain had agreed personal terms, to join Chelsea, because from the player's perspective, he does actually want to join Chelsea. Does Gonzalo Higuain, as we all know, because potentially looking like Alvaro Morata's on his way out, and Chelsea obviously trying to get him, sanctioning him off on loan somewhere else. And reportedly, Sevilla have been interested in Morata. AC Milan have been interested in, but and also now Atletico Madrid have reportedly been interested in. Reportedly, Atletico Madrid have held negotiations. I think it will be potentially a loan deal, because it did confirm, yesterday in the press, regarding Morata, that Sevilla had been in negotiations. The Sevilla, obviously Morata's agent had been in discussions with the Sevilla representatives. The Sevilla director said he'd love to bring Morata, to Spain to play for Sevilla, but he said he admits it will be difficult. He says it will. It says it's the Morata move is very, very complicated, and this is what the Sevilla director said, as we all. But it's looking like he's on his way out of the team. Morata, there has been talks of Gonzalo Higuain and Morata as a potential swap deal, as we all know. So potentially the latest reports today, coming out of the media, that reported there's been more negotiations further down the line. Reportedly, currently Gonzalo Higuain's agent and his current brother reportedly have been in London today to meet up with Sarri, to potentially, discuss a possible, potential move to Chelsea, as we all know, because obviously we know that is a Obviously, we know that's Sarri's number one target now is Gonzalo Higuain. He's got a few other interests, that he's linked with as well. According, to the Chelsea director, as we all know, I don't think he's happy about this, to be, currently honest with you, because he has reservations, does, the Chelsea director, of paying around nearly £50 million for players that are in the 30s, as we all know. And obviously, Chelsea have a strict policy of not giving players who are like in the 30s, contracts, longer than 12 months, as we all currently know. So he has reservations about it, does the Chelsea director, because obviously he is 31 years of age now, is Gonzalo Higuain, so he has grown and developed, and he is out of his prime. But reportedly, Gonzalo Higuain does want to potentially make the move. So obviously, he could be making the move to Chelsea. It could be Chelsea's second signing of this January transfer window. We know they've got a few they've been interested in as well, as we all know. But as I said, Gonzalo Higuain, I think he'll lead the lines for them fantastically well. He can lead the lines, he can score goals, as he has done. But I think if he's to make the move to Chelsea, Chelsea will initially be getting him on loan, and then obviously, they'll then make the deal permanent in the summer, and then pay a fee of around £36 million, is it? Or something like that. But he is 31 years of age. He's proven himself very, very well as Gonzalo Higuain, as we all know. When he was young in his prime, he had 6 good years with Real Madrid. He broke he actually broke the Serie A record, because obviously he scored 36 goals in one season with Napoli. He had 3 fantastic years with Napoli, 6 good years with Real Madrid when he was young in his prime. He had 2 good years with Juventus as well, and he's keen on reuniting with Sarri, because we know that is Sarri's number one choice, because Chelsea can create chances. They are good at holding onto the ball, but they do need someone in that attacking third of the pitch, and one of their areas they do want to strengthen up is a striker, because potentially they are looking for a replacement for Morata, because obviously, as I did say, Morata's on his way out. But Gonzalo Higuain, as we all know, obviously he was the South American most expensive player, because of all time. I think Juventus paid 75 million for him, and then potentially until the Neymar deal until 2017, and then potentially His transfer fees were the highest paid by an Italian side as well, until obviously Ronaldo made the move. And I think when Ronaldo made the move, then Gonzalo Higuain went out on loan. He's now on loan at AC Milan. He hasn't really, met the expectations, since he's gone to Milan on loan. He hasn't been scoring a lot of goals, the player, to be quite honest with you. But he's on loan now with AC Milan. AC Milan had to pay £16 million fee, of course, to get him on loan, as we are more currently know in the process. And then it did say potentially AC Milan do have the option to make the deal permanent in the summer by paying around 30 odd million pounds for Gonzalo Higuain. But as I did say, yeah, Sarri's keen on reuniting with the player. I think since 2013 he scored 154 goals in 271 appearances. So there has been negotiations going on, as we all know. So Chelsea could be on the brink of signing him. Sarri wants him. I don't know if AC Milan are willing to do any business, as I said, but Chelsea have held negotiations with AC Milan and Juventus over this. So he could be potentially the second signing of this January transfer window, because obviously Christian Pulisic has been confirmed. But as I did say to you, they had today reportedly Higuain's agent and his brother have reportedly been to London to discuss about potentially making a move to Stamford Bridge, because he's never played in the Premier League, as I said, Gonzalo Higuain. But he is 31, so Chelsea won't get that long out of him, considering that he's 31. And the Chelsea board and the Chelsea to do have concerns about this, of potentially, getting players at the age of 31 and paying nearly £50 million for them. He has concerns about paying that amount of money, for the player that's in his early 30s and obviously coming to an end of his career. But he's a prolific goal scorer, without a shadow of a doubt. He's a prolific goal scorer. He's a proven goal scorer. He leads the lines very, very well. And I think he'll deliver and he'll score goals for Chelsea, and, Chelsea have got to think about how is he going to fit in the Chelsea team. Imagine him alongside Hazard, they'd have right firepower up front with Chelsea, but they do need an attacker in their team. But as I did say to you, with the Alvaro Morata situation, as we all know, he is going to be going as Alvaro Morata now. There's 3 teams reportedly interested in him. Sevilla, Atletico Madrid and also AC Milan have been interested. As I did say, Sevilla have held negotiations. The latest news, according to the media, that reportedly Atletico Madrid have opened up negotiations about getting Alvaro Morata on a loan deal. Then potentially, whatever team does get Morata, obviously then they'll probably have the option to permanently sign him in the summer. Reports were coming out yesterday saying Sevilla reportedly willing to offer a £5 million loan fee, and then obviously make the deal permanent in the summer for around, an extra £35 million or something like that. But obviously we know he's been out of favour with Chelsea, Alvaro Morata. He hasn't been getting the game time that he wants, and obviously he's no longer under Sarri's plans now, is Alvaro Morata, as we all know, and he hasn't lived up to expectations, since he's come to the Premier League to play for Chelsea. I thought he had a good start to 2017-18 season, to be quite fair, did Alvaro Morata, but since Sarri's been recommended in, he hasn't been getting a lot of game time out of his belt. He's been struggling for consistency. He's been struggling for form, as we all know, because recently in the Premier League, as we all know, potentially Sarri has been putting Eden Hazard up front in a false number 9 position. As I said, but Morata, as I said, I'm surprised that Morata, Chelsea paid £60 million for him in 2017, as we all know. And I think, the team are becoming increasingly frustrated with Alvaro Morata, as we all know. But it was very, very good when he was young in his prime. Spent most of his playing career with Real Madrid. He also had 2 good years with Juventus in Italy as well, Alvaro Morata. But he just really hasn't shown his true colours at Chelsea. He had a good start when he came to Chelsea, but especially since Sarri's been recommended in, he hasn't lived up to expectations with Chelsea. So obviously Chelsea are looking to get rid of him, whether it's Sevilla that get him, or whether it's Sevilla that get him. The Sevilla directors admitted it is going to be complicated. Atletico Madrid get him, I don't know, but the latest team to be interested is Atletico Madrid, as I said. But saying about that, guys, yes, so as I did update you, latest news on Gonzalo Higuain today. His agent and his brother has been in London, to negotiate a deal over this, because I think Gonzalo Higuain does want to make the move. The Spanish press were reporting yesterday that personal terms have been agreed, and he said the deal actually could have been finalised and completed yesterday. It wasn't. There's still some more negotiations going on, but I think he's trying to force away his move from AC Milan to Chelsea, because he wants to play under Sarri, because he's had experience of playing under Sarri, and obviously Chelsea have got a pretty decent transfer policy, and obviously Sarri knows about Italian players, as we all know, because he used to manage in Italy as well, and he's 31 years of age. As we all know, and this is what the Chelsea board have concerns about, as we all know. But Yeah, as I did say to you guys, have been linked. There's been talks about, they've been interested in Callum Wilson. If they fail with a deal, for Gonzalo or Higuain. Obviously, Callum Wilson's a lot younger, Premier League proven. As we all know, he's been at Bournemouth, quite a few years now. Callum Wilson. I think he's done quite well, for Bournemouth this season. Chelsea have been interested in him. He's been at Kettering in the past. He's been at Tamworth in the past on loan. I think he's, what is he, 25, 26 year old, Callum Wilson or something like that. But I just don't think Eddie Howe's going to be willing to do any business as well. So you could say alternative for Chelsea if they fail with a Gonzalo Higuain deal, because obviously that is Savi's number one target. To bolster his front line up. To add depth in his front line, as we all know, and this is what he currently wants to do. This is what he wants to do, guys. But yeah, they've also been linked with. There's a name that's been mentioned as well. He's called Icardi from Inter Milan. As I've updated you on quite a few times, and Icardi is a prolific goal scorer. As we all know, he's been fantastic for Inter Milan. I think he's been at Inter Milan since 2013. He's grown and developed very, very well. And he's just like Gonzalo Higuain, a prolific goal scorer, a known goal scorer. But if I were Chelsea, I actually would prefer, to get Icardi. I know Gonzalo Higuain's a very, very good, sensational player, but it's the age difference. Obviously, Icardi is younger than Gonzalo Higuain, but as I did say, they are both proven goal scorers, as we all know, because potentially Icardi's got around the 99 or is it 100 million release clause in his current deal with Inter Milan. He's got a 99, 100 million release clause or something like that. Obviously, I think since he's been at Inter Milan, he's Inter Milan's 9-5, he's Inter Milan's 9-5 highest goal scorer of all time. I think he scored 131 goals in his career, or just a bit more. I think about 120 of them have been at Inter Milan as well for Icardi, but he's a sensational player. Good, strong, quick. His pace is unbelievable. He's an efficient finisher. His finishing's absolutely sublime. His Icardi's, and he's been in absolutely fantastic form. For Inter Milan, since he's been there. And he's been there 2013 now Inter Milan. He actually before that, was at Sampdoria for a season. He had the actually impressive season with Sampdoria, and he attracted the interest for Inter Milan, and he's been absolutely sensational for Inter Milan, since he's been at Inter Milan. But reportedly Chelsea have also been interested in Icardi as well, so he's another name that's been mentioned in the press. But as I did say, Chelsea players are going to be going, as we all know, as we did hear that reports have been coming out about Callum Hudson. As we all know, reports have been coming out about Callum Hudson. He's got a year and a half left on his contract. He hasn't been getting a lot of game time this season for Chelsea. I know he featured against Tottenham and he featured in the Cup and that, but in the Premier League this season, he hasn't featured much. I think he's only 18 years of age. He's very, very young, and a player at that age, wants to be getting first team football, wants to be growing and developing. He hasn't really had the opportunities. He hasn't really been given the opportunities at Chelsea as Callum Hudson, as we all know. But reportedly Bayern Munich heavily linked with him. Callum Hudson actually told Sarri, he told the Chelsea director he wants to leave Chelsea and join Bayern Munich. Sarri still reportedly, wants to keep Callum Hudson, in the Chelsea squad. But obviously now they've confirmed the sign of Pulisic, he could fall down the pecking order even more. But reportedly Bayern Munich are looking to get a few young players in their team. As we all know, as I did say, they've got Arjen Robben, that's probably going to leave in the summer. Obviously done well throughout his playing career, but he's known for injuries and he's an injury-prone player. They've got Ribery who's aging up. They've got Lewandowski who's aging up. So they've got quite a few aging up players. So they maybe want to get one or two, young players in their team. And probably Callum Hudson would grow and develop fantastically well in Germany, with Bayern Munich, as we all know. So far, reportedly, 3 bids have been turned down. And Chelsea have turned down 3 bids for Munich. A 15, 20, and a £30 million bids being turned down. But recent reports suggested out that Bayern Munich come up with a 4th bid in the region of around £35 million. The German press reportedly Chelsea had accepted this bid, this £35 million bid. Reportedly Bayern Munich also offered him the number 10 shirt, to fulfill the number 10 role if he goes to Bayern Munich. And as I did say, and reportedly there's no buyback clause included in this bid, reportedly. So Callum Hudson could be potentially, on his way out, because he is heavily linked with a move to Bayern Munich. He's a player. As I did say, Eden Hazard's future is still uncertain with Chelsea, as we all know. He hasn't really committed his future at the moment. Eden Hazard, he has scored over 100 goals for Chelsea, since he's been there. He's definitely he's definitely Chelsea's best player, as we all know. you know, people do come out and say that he is overrated, you know, Eden Hazard a bit. I think he's still one of the best players in the Premier League, is Eden Hazard, you know, to be quite fair. His close ball control's good, he's tenacious, he's got a lot of tenacity about his play, as well as Eden Hazard, but we know that he has obviously been linked with a move to Real Madrid, as we all know, as Eden Hazard. So he did admit before that he loved Real Madrid. Hazard, he's been in the Premier League since 2012. You know, he is in his mid-20s now. I think he's, 26 years of age, is Eden Hazard. But as I said, Chelsea fans were convinced that he could leave. Obviously now, you know, they have confirmed the signing of Christian Pulisic, as we all know. But obviously, you know, I think Gary Cahill's going to leave as well. You know, there's been speculation about Gary Cahill leaving as well. I think Fulham have been linked with him, so he may want to get a strong central defender in as well. You know, Sarri, because they have got quite a few aging up defenders as well of Chelsea. But obviously, Sarri wants to find a replacement for Cesc Fabregas, as we all know. So reportedly, as it has confirmed, he's been a good servant in English football as Cesc Fabregas. You know, he's played 12, 13 years now in English football as Cesc Fabregas. He's made his farewell. He made his farewell appearance against Nottingham Forest. As we all know, that he's now made over 500 appearances in English football as Cesc Fabregas. Obviously, he comes to an end of his contract in the summer. Obviously, he's going to be definitely leaving Chelsea, whether it's going to be in this window or whether it's going to be in the summer. But reportedly, Chelsea have put he's going to be going to Monaco as Fabregas, but I think Chelsea are not going to let him go yet at this moment in time until they do find a replacement for Cesc Fabregas. So the transfer is on hold at the moment. Fabregas has obviously been in negotiations with Monaco. He went over to Monaco to have negotiations. Reportedly, a 3-year deal has been agreed for the summer, reportedly. But as I did say, you know, Chelsea are reluctant to let him go at the moment until they do find a replacement. So Fabregas is going to be going to Monaco, as we all know. He's going to be reuniting with Thierry Henry, as I said, because they used to play together. But he's grown and developed fantastically well, Fabregas. You know, he's Spanish, he's 31 years of age, as we all currently know. You know, spent 12, 13 years in the Premier League. I know he spent 3 years with Barcelona at one point as well, did Cesc Fabregas. But, you know, he has been a great player. But he did get a good standing ovation from Chelsea, as we all know. So potentially it's looking like, you know, Fabregas is going to be going to Monaco, as we all currently know. But as I said, the deal is on hold. His current transfer is on hold at the moment, obviously, until Chelsea do find a replacement for Fabregas. We know they've been linked with Nicolas Barella as well. He's been one of our potential targets, you know, Manchester United. You know, reportedly Man United had put around a £30 million bid in for him. He is only 21 years of age, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him, as I said. He's a Cagliari midfielder. He's under contract with them till 2022. Is this Cagliari? Nicolo Barella. He's 21, as I said, and reportedly he can play anywhere in the midfield. You know, he can play as a centre defensive mid, he can play as a defensive mid, an attacking mid, a central midfielder, and he can play on the right hand side, which I think is his favoured role. Nicolo Barella. That's his favoured position. You know, as I currently said, but he's versatile. He's a player. So as I did say, his versatility looks very good indeed. He is Italian as well as the player, and he is young in his prime. He's 21 years of age, and reportedly he has got a good wide range of skills as this current player. But I know Chelsea have potentially, you know, targeted him as well. So potentially, yeah, that's mainly the Chelsea transfer news to update you on. Gonzalo Higuain reportedly could be on his way to Stamford Bridge because he wants to leave AC Milan, as we all know. He hasn't really shown his true colours, you know, as he did when he was younger in his prime at the previous teams he'd been at since he's gone to Milan on loan. But as I did say, I think he is going to be going to Chelsea because more negotiations have been happening today in London because Higuain's representative and his brother have been over to London to negotiate a deal with Sarri of getting a potential move to Stamford Bridge, which is what Sarri wants, and I think from the player's perspective, he wants to make the move to Chelsea as well, does Gonzalo Higuain. I think he'll be a very good signing for them. He'll deliver them goals, he's good on the ball, his finishing's absolutely superb as well. So he'll definitely improve, you know, he'll definitely improve Chelsea's attacking third of pitch, you know, without a shadow of a doubt, you know, to be quite fair. He'll definitely improve them. But as I could, obviously Chelsea as well, do obviously want to get in the top four this season, to get in Champions League football for next season, to invest more money into the club, as I said. And it's between us, Chelsea and Arsenal, for top four this season, as I currently said. So a bit more Arsenal transfer rumours now to update you guys on. I've just been reading a bit of Arsenal transfer rumours. So obviously, Umre did confirm he wants one or two players in this January transfer window. Obviously, we know that Arsenal have got a lot of injury problems still, as we all know. Obviously, Arsenal's target this season, just like ours and Chelsea's, is to get into the top four, as we all know, because Arsenal want to invest more money, attract players' interest, as we all currently know in the process. And potentially, there is going to be players that are going to be leaving Arsenal Football Club. But as we all know, when they had Wenger, they wasn't getting the right amount of funds to spend on players. When they had Wenger, they wasn't getting the right amount of funds to spend on players. So far under Umre, they haven't been getting the right amount of funds, to spend on players, as we all know. But he did get 5 players last summer to do Umre. Aubameyang and Lacazette are delivering the goods very, very well for Arsenal, and they are scoring goals and all that. But recent reports are coming out now regarding Umre, and Umre is saying now Arsenal will not be making any permanent signings in this January transfer window. So basically, what Umre suggested out is he's ruled out Arsenal making any permanent signings in this January window, and he says Arsenal will only be allowed to make loan signings in this January window, reportedly according to Umre. Because we know that Arsenal are heavily linked with the 25-year-old Denis Suarez from Barcelona. Arsenal are heavily linked to him. But reportedly, Arsenal are keen on getting a loan deal for Denis Suarez, reportedly. So he's basically, remember, he's ruled out a permanent move for any permanent deals. And he's ruled out a permanent move for Denis Suarez, reportedly, in this January window. Because reportedly, Arsenal are keen on getting him on a loan deal, reportedly. Because yesterday, the press were, well, I think it's Arsenal's main target. But the press were reporting yesterday that reportedly the Barcelona president had been in negotiations with Arsenal over this. And reportedly the Barcelona president had suggested out he promised Denis Suarez a transfer to Arsenal this month. So potentially Arsenal are only keen on getting a loan deal. From Barcelona's perspective, at one point they were playing hardball. All of a sudden now they're softened the stance. But reportedly, it says from the Spanish press, Barcelona are only reportedly willing to let Denis Suarez go out on loan to Arsenal if there's a clause in the deal to make it permanent in the summer, reportedly. But we know Arsenal have been in discussions with the currently Denis Suarez's representatives. Denis Suarez's perspective, he wants to make the move to Arsenal, as we all know, as he has confirmed, because he likes Umre. As we all know, he has praised Umre. As we all know, and they've worked together in the past, when obviously Denis Suarez was at Sevilla during his, he was on loan with Sevilla, wasn't he? He won the Europa League that season. But as I said, I think there's been in discussions of around the £14 million or something like that for Denis Suarez. But as I did say, he's very versatile. He can play on the left, he can play on the right, he can play centrally. But Arsenal have got to think, if he does go to Arsenal, which it looks like it could happen, Arsenal have got to think about where they're going to fit him in the team, where his best position would be, because obviously he is versatile, and obviously Arsenal have got to hope that he does hit the ground running, because potentially Arsenal are going to see him as a replacement for Ramsey, because obviously Aaron Ramsey is obviously going summer, as that's obviously being confirmed. But Denis Suarez's current contract ends in 2020 with Barcelona. He hasn't been getting a lot of game time with Barcelona recently, but it does look realistically that he could be going to Arsenal, but Arsenal only want to do a loan deal. So what potentially Umre said is he's ruled out Arsenal making any permanent signings in his January window, and he's basically said, as Umre, he only wants Arsenal to make loan signings in this January transfer window. So basically, he's planning to get Denis Suarez, out on loan, maybe to see how he progresses, on the loan deal, see how he progresses, see how he fits in the team, see if he performs well or not, and then Arsenal will make a decision if they want to sign him permanently after the loan is over. So there has been a lot of talks about that. So the Barcelona president has been in negotiations with Arsenal, but Umre is keen on getting the players. 25. He actually began his career, when he was a lot younger in his prime, in his youth career with Manchester City. Did Denis Suarez, as we all know. But I think Barcelona are willing to sell him, but only if obviously Arsenal make the deal permanent in the summer. Obviously, signing fully in this window as well. So that's a recent reports on that. So we will keep you up to date. Aaron Ramsey, obviously the news came out about Aaron Ramsey yesterday. Obviously Arsenal know he's going to be leaving. Obviously Umre respects Aaron Ramsey. I think he obviously get a great standing ovation from Arsenal, for what he's done for Arsenal for 10 years, because he has been at Arsenal now a decade. He's progressing up the ranks very, very well. He's grown and developed. I think he's made 200 odd appearances in the Premier League. I think 300 over 300 odd. About over 300 odd in all competitions, scored about 60 odd goals. Aaron Ramsey, but we know obviously his preferred choice was Juventus, as we all know. But yeah, Arsenal blatantly told him he's not getting a new contract, and he's definitely going to Juventus in his summer, because reports are stemming that he signed a pre-contract agreement deal with Juventus. Did Aaron Ramsey. But as I did say, yeah, he's going to be joining Juventus in the summer. Reportedly, he's going to be having his medical on Sunday. Reportedly, with you, his medical on Sunday. Reportedly, I think it's a deal, a 5-year deal worth around 36 million. He's going to be signing a 5-year deal, and his salary is around £140,000 a week. About 7.2 million a season, or something like that. So he is going to be the second highest paid player with Juventus. Is Aaron Ramsey, as we all know, because potentially Aaron Ramsey has been in discussions with Juventus over this. As we all currently know in the process, he does want to make the move to Juventus. So where's, how is that? He's a good, very, very, very good box-to-box midfielder, but Juventus have got to think about where he's going to fit best in the Juventus team. Aaron Ramsey, and it will be a good new area for him, to play amongst very, very good players. Because as I said, Juventus have won the last 7 Serie A titles in a row, something like that, haven't they? Yeah, and I think they've become the runners-up most times in the Champions League as well. But Aaron Ramsey's been a very, very good servant for Arsenal. I think a lot of Arsenal fans, will miss him. To be quite honest, he's won 3 FA Cups with Arsenal. He scored in 2 of the finals, as we all know. But potentially, we know Arsenal's main target is Denis Suarez, as we all know. We know potentially this Yannick Carrasco is getting mentioned in the press a lot, as we all currently know. Reportedly, this Yannick Carrasco has reportedly been offered to Arsenal. As I did say, he's Belgium. He's 25 years of age. He is a winger. Is this Yannick Carrasco? He's a winger. Plays in the Chinese Super League for Delaney Yifang, this player. Reportedly, he's scored like 7 goals this season. But reportedly, he's on about 8.8 million a year salary or something like that. Is he? Yeah, he's on about 8.8 million salary a year. He receives around £170,000 a week. But currently, I think he's willing to accept a cut deal, him to make the move to the Emirates and come to play in Europe, the player, because obviously Arsenal can't match his current salary. So potentially, I think from the player's perspective, he's willing to accept a cut deal, to make a move to the Emirates, because reportedly he does want to make the move to Arsenal. It said we were interested. It did say AC Milan were also interested, but he prefers the move to Arsenal. And reportedly, he has been offered to Arsenal. Arsenal have obviously been in negotiations. And this Yannick Carrasco, and he's only been in China now, is it nearly a year? He had 2.5 years with, this Chinese club bought him last year in February for around £27 million, but he had 2.5 years, with Atletico Madrid. He scored, in the final, Champions League final, I think did the play with Atletico Madrid. He had 2.5 years there. Actually began his senior career with Monaco. I think he scored 20 goals in like 105 professional games, as we all know. And I think he's got a contract, until 2021. But as I said, Arsenal have been heavily linked with this Yannick Carrasco, and he is a winger. And obviously that's one of the areas he wants to strengthen up. Is that wing position. He also wants a central defender. And we know there's been rumours of Gary Cahill, but obviously he's ruled a move out for Gary Cahill. As I said, they've got Petr Cech in goal, who's also, coming to an end of his career. As we all know, very, very soon. They've still got Ozil there, that's been in and out of the team this season for Arsenal, as we all know. Hasn't really adapted himself, to be quite honest with you. He has been struggling, he's been injured. He was injured early on this season. I think it's confirmed he's back in training now, Mesut Ozil. But as I did say, he's on £350,000 a week. I think he's Arsenal's highest paid player, because he signed a new deal back in 2017, did he? But 17, didn't he? But he hasn't, really played that well this season, because he's been in and out of the team. He has been missing key games, as I said, and Ozil hasn't really adapted himself this season with Arsenal, of course. Obviously, Welbeck's set to leave. Danny Welbeck's set to leave Arsenal, as I currently said. But yeah, they do need reinvestments. As I said, they need to invest into the team. But the latest news, according to Emre, is confirmed Arsenal. He's ruled out that Arsenal will be making any permanent signings in this window, and he says Arsenal will be he's only keen on getting loan signings in this January window. And he's ruled regarding Denis Suarez, reportedly he's ruled out. Emre has ruled out of making a permanent move for Denis Suarez, reportedly. So more things, as I did say, we'll update about that. more things will update about that. But as I have been updating you today on, my club on a bit of our transfer news today, as I have been updating you guys. Obviously, we know there's certain areas we're looking very, very good under Solskjaer at the moment. 5 wins out of 5. 16 goals scored. The teams are playing very, very well, playing with a lot of confidence. The team is motivated, as we all know. But as I was just going to say, these still key areas in our squad that we do need to address. We need a strong central defender. We need a right winger. I think we need someone on the right hand side, because as I did say, all our attack is coming from the left hand side, as we all currently know. So potentially these players we are linked with. Latest news, Solskjaer, the latest news he gave us an update on that. He said it's unlikely Man United will make any signings in this window. He also said too, did Solskjaer, he doesn't expect Manchester United to make any signings in this window, but there is still key areas, where we do potentially, need to strengthen up. And reportedly, he's set, or he has, or whatever. He said he was going to be having negotiations with Ed Woodward about this January window, as we all know, because obviously Ed Woodward has got a few potential targets. He'd like to get into Manchester United. But as I said, the club obviously was still recruiting, to get a full-time manager in at the end of the season. Obviously, Ed Woodward's number one choice is Mauricio Pochettino, we all know. As I did say, he's doing very, very well at Tottenham. He's been there 5 years now. He's Premier League proven. And he's only spent £50 million at Tottenham since 2014. But I think he's happy at Tottenham. He's fully committed to Tottenham. And they're still in with a shout for the title this season. They have got really, really good players. But as Pochettino has been coming out in the media lately, and he's been saying he wants to manage top 20 years. Obviously, we know the longest serving managers in English football obviously was Arsene Wenger for 22 years of Arsenal, Ferguson with us for 26, 27 years as well. And he's, Pochettino, with what he said, he's reportedly willing to follow them footsteps. He also said Tottenham will struggle to compete at the top, without spending any money, because they don't spend. They've only spent £50 million since 2014. Pochettino, got recommended in, and to be fair, he's done a very, very good job. But obviously, Pochettino is looking to us. Pochettino, obviously, is looking to win his first major trophy as manager, because he's never won any silverware as manager, as Mauricio Pochettino, and he has been managing, since 2009. And obviously, reportedly, recent reports, last week or whatever it was, reportedly he's been in discussions with Manchester United. Reportedly, Ed Woodward has been in transfer talks with Mauricio Pochettino as well, who he would like to get. Talking about summer signings, who Pochettino would like to get in the summer, if he is recommended into the job. But we know he is favourite, and we know it would cost us around £35-40 million to get him in at the end of the season, when we could save that money and get a potential signing with that money, as we all currently know. But as I said, I think he's fully committed to Tottenham, and he also said Tottenham have to operate differently, to win silverware and win titles, as he did at it as well. So maybe Tottenham do need a couple of signings, but he's good at growing and developing young players. Is Mauricio Pochettino. We know there's also been talks of Zinedine Zidane. That's been coming out in the last few weeks as well. But obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did admit he'd love the job on a full-time basis at Manchester United, as he did admit, because he loves the club, he knows the culture of the club, he knows the trappings of the club. As we all know, there's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he loves Manchester United because he was a great, great player from 1996 to 2007. He also knows some of these players, from managing in the reserve team as well, does Solskjaer. And I think he's got that winning mentality, that attacking mentality, and he likes the philosophy, the attacking philosophy, and he likes the width as well, as we all currently know. But it's 5 wins out of 5, and he has brought the fear factor back, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which is very, very good to see. And he did say we're going to give everybody a chance. He wanted the players to go out there and express themselves, but he did say we're going to give everybody the chance, including the youth. And I think this team's going to flourish under Solskjaer, and I think the youth are going to grow and develop, as we all know. Obviously, still got to think about contract renewals. Obviously, still got to think about contract renewals as well, because obviously there is a lot of players coming to end of the contracts, as we all know. And I did say to you guys, there's still, I think there's still players, that could leave Manchester United, of course. But as I did say, I think we need a centre-back, we need a right midfielder, and we need a centre-defensive midfielder, that's fast and tenacious as well. So they are the areas, where we do potentially need to strengthen up. As I did say, Tottenham's going to be a very, very big game on Sunday. It's going to be a very, very difficult game, because Tottenham have got very good players. They've got one of the best strikers in the Premier League, through Harry Kane. So that's going to be a difficult game indeed. Potentially, it'll be interesting to see who he starts with Solskjaer. Obviously, against Reading, he made 9 changes. He obviously went with a team that's never played together as an 11, and he brought a lot of youngsters in that game. That's probably what it was. It was a lackluster performance, from our second 11. That's probably why, as rhythm wasn't up to scratch, or his movement wasn't up to scratch, and there wasn't much tempo to his play, and we wasn't that good because obviously we had the second 11 out. As we all know, hopefully, obviously Paul Pogba has been injured. I think he should be in contention for the Tottenham game on Sunday because he's going to be crucial. He's Paul Pogba. I think he operates better in the number 10 position, to be quite honest with you. As I did say, I'll be surprised if he starts with Lukaku and Sanchez on Sunday. Lukaku has scored 3 goals in his last 3 games, to be fair, but everyone has concerns about his first touch. As we all know, and he's slow. He's Romelu Lukaku. Just like Matic is slow as well, but I think Lukaku will dramatically improve under Solskjaer. Sanchez, as I said, he's obviously just come back from a hamstring injury, as well as Alexis Sanchez. So there's areas of his game that he does need to adapt, but I think if he gets more of the game time, he will dramatically improve. But as I said, we've got Martial, who operates very, very well on that left-hand side. He creates the width fantastically well on the left-hand side. You've got Martial, Lingard and Rashford, obviously, who were taking Lukaku and Sanchez's positions, as we all know, and fulfilling that role. So, potentially, as I said, I'll be surprised if he starts with Lukaku and Sanchez, because obviously still some United fans class them as fringe players, because we did play a lot of fringe players against Reading. That's probably why potentially the performance wasn't up to scratch. As we all currently know in the process. But I think we need a centre defensive mid because Matic is really, really improved under Solskjaer. His distribution's improved. He looks effective in his passing, but he is slow, and I do have reservations about him. So I think, we do need a centre defensive midfielder, as we all know. And as I did say, there's potentially still areas in our squad that we need to address. I think Fellaini will be going. I don't know how he fits. I don't know how he's going to fit in this new regime at Manchester United. I think he'll be going. I think Darmian may be leaving as well because he's coming to the end of his contract, as we all know. Hasn't played much this season. And obviously there's been a few Italian teams interested in Darmian, so I actually think Darmian will be going. And I think there could be a few players going. We've got a right back position. We've got Valencia and Ashley Young that are 33. They're both 33-year-old. Valencia and Ashley Young. They've both been here a lot of years. Young's been here about 7-8 years. Valencia's been here about 10 years. And they've both made over like 300 odd senior appearances, for the club. And they have grown and developed fantastically well over the years. But obviously they come to the end of the contracts in the summer. There's been no sign of either of them signing a new one. We've failed to extend currently Ashley Young's contract out. I think reportedly Manchester United have obviously been in talks, as we all know. Valencia hasn't played much in the team this season, as I did say. And he was injured early on the season, wasn't he, Valencia? But obviously our first choice right back, as obviously, being Ashley Young, as we all currently know in the process. So yeah, maybe they could leave. I don't think they maybe, have got, any futures at Manchester United, because, they'll be coming to the end of their careers soon, as we all know. So potentially I would bring Diego Dalot in at that right back position, potentially. In my opinion, I'd bring them in, to be quite honest with you. Maybe Fred needs a bit more game time, to get playing to his potential level, as I said. Obviously, confirmed that Man United have been in talks to secure Ander Herrera new deal as well. Obviously, he signed an extension last year. He's made 177 appearances for Manchester United since he's been here. He was a decent sign, that Louis van Gaal got in. Herrera's been very, very good, to be quite fair. I think he's a good player. He's obviously the ex-Atletico Bilbao player. We've had him here now 5 years, as I said. So potentially these still players, that could leave Manchester United. As I did say, obviously we've been linked with quite a lot of central defenders, as we all know. We know, obviously, a lot of Manchester United fans would like Koulibaly to come in. He'd be the best option out of all the players, we are linked with, because he's a fantastic player. I think he'd be a good leader in our back line, would Koulibaly, to be fair. Man United in the process so far have had 3 bids turned down, and the recent one was 95 million, but I think the Napoli president has confirmed I don't think they're willing to do any business in this January window, so Man United may obviously go for him in the summer. But he's a sensational player, and we have got the financial power to meet his valuation. I think he's rated around 100 million. He's Koulibaly, as we all know, but he's been fantastic for Napoli, as we all know. Potentially other targets who've been linked to, as I did say to you earlier on, reportedly, according to the media, Italian press, reportedly Man United put a £54 million bid in for Inter Milan's Milan Skriniar yesterday night, reportedly. Man United have been linked with this Milan Skriniar. He can play as a centre-back, and a centre defensive midfielder as well. And he is only young in his prime, as I did say. He's 23 years of age, so he is 4 years younger than Koulibaly, and I think he'd grow and develop fantastically well if he came to the Premier League. Reportedly, he's quite a good player, for Inter Milan. Is this Milan Skriniar? But obviously, we'd get a lot longer out of Milan Skriniar than we would Koulibaly. Obviously, Koulibaly's 4 years older. He's 27. Skriniar's 23. So there is a difference. So if Milan Skriniar was 27, potentially he probably would be on the same level as Koulibaly, if not better. So potentially, there's a 4 year difference, as we all know. But I know a lot of United fans would like Koulibaly, but obviously, as an Inter Milan player, this Skriniar, Slovakian, I think Inter Milan paid, £20 million for him. I think has he still got, if I'm right, has he still got 3 years left on his Inter Milan deal? I think Inter Milan are keen on renewing his current contract with Inter Milan. But reportedly, Inter Milan could demand that they want more than what Manchester United have offered. I think in the region, they want around £80 million, £81 million, for Milan Skriniar. That's a lot for the 23-year-old, as I currently said. But yeah, Manchester United have been linked with him as well. We know there's been, reports coming out of Manolas. Reports were coming out yesterday about Kostas Manolas that reportedly Manchester United were interested in him. Obviously, Riley, he said it come out in the press the other day that a Greek reporter said Man United were in talks to get him in the summer, reportedly, and it did say he has got a 32 million release clause in his deal. Is Kostas Manolas? He's nowhere near on the same levels as the likes of the Koulibalys or the Diego Godins or the Rafael Varanes or Sergio Ramos's, the top defenders, as we all know. But as I said, I don't really know much about him, to be quite honest with you. I know he plays for Rome. He's got 32 million release clause in his current deal with Roma, reportedly. Reportedly, it can't be activated until the summer. Reportedly, Man United have been working on this deal with Raiola, reportedly. And reports coming out yesterday saying Man United are close to securing the signing of the player. So we could actually get him in this January window, Kostas Manolas. He is 27, he is Greek. I think he's over 6 foot, so he is quite tall. Reportedly, he's very, very disciplined at the back, reportedly as well. But as I said, we've had injuries a lot, this season. We've had a lot of injury problems, in our back line, as we all know. Potentially we've got Baye, who hasn't played much this season, but he's still got great potential. Lindelof's dramatically, definitely improved this season as well. We've obviously got Small and Rojo there as backup options, but to be quite fair, Rojo's versatility at the back's very, very good. I know he's injured at the moment, but I think Jones and Smalling probably will, be going at the end of the season, to be quite honest with you. I think they'll be going at the end of the season. We've obviously got Fosu Mensah out and Tuan Zebi out on loan, I think, as well. So we definitely, do need a strong centre half, as we all know. Would you like to see Kostas Manolas come in as well? We know there's also been talks about Adam Militao as well. And, well, his versatility is very, very good. He's only 20 years of age, and as I did say, he can play as a right-back, a centre-back, and a defensive midfielder. But I think he's predominantly a right-back, is Adam Militao. He's got a 40-odd million release clause in his current deal with Porto. I think he's got 4 years left on his current deal. And he's only been a Porto player since last summer because, obviously, Porto got him off Sao Paulo. He is Brazilian. He's a player. Reportedly, his performances in the Portuguese League this season have been impressive. Reportedly, his performances in the Champions League have also been impressive as well. So potentially, there has been talks about that. Liverpool have reportedly been interested in him. Real Madrid have reportedly been interested in him as well. This Eddie Militao, and he's only 20 years of age, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. As I said, we know there's still been rumours, going on about Toby Alderweireld, as we all currently know as well. So there has, been rumours about that going on Toby Alderweireld. Premier League proven, he's obviously got a 25 million release clause for the summer because obviously Tottenham have extended his contract till 2020. It includes a 25 million release clause, as we all know, does this current deal. As we all know, but Toby Alderweireld can play as a centre-back and a full-back, and as I did say, he can be a world-class central defender, can Toby Alderweireld, because he can prove himself very, very good. He is 29 years of age, he's even older than Koulibaly, and obviously he's nowhere near on the same levels as the likes of Koulibaly anywhere, but I think he has lost the pace a little bit. I think he needs to adjust his game more. Tottenham do have obviously other options at the back. I think Tottenham, obviously do need to maybe make a signing or two in this window. I think Pochettino may want to make a couple of signings in this window, as I currently said. But either way, I think it'd be a good leader on our back line, alongside Lindelof and Baye and all that, to be quite honest with you. But Man United, have been linked with Toby Alderweireld, and I think he would be a potential summer signing. Wouldn't get him in this January window, I don't think, as I currently said. But yeah, as I said, so they are the players we're linked with, as we all currently know. And as I did say to you, obviously the club are still recruiting, not for just a full-time manager. That we are recruiting, for a director of football to come in as well. So a lot of talks about that as well. But as I did say, we've got a lot of players coming to end of the contracts, as we all know. We've still got Martial, obviously Martial and De Gea, obviously pair of them, we activated the 12-month option on their current contracts, and that has obviously now been extended, as we all know, but they haven't signed new long-term deals yet, De Gea and Martial, and, somewhere along the line, Solskjaer wants them, to secure new deals at the club, because, we've got quite a few other players that are coming to end of the contracts, but Martial, as we all know, reportedly Manchester United have been in talks previously, of getting him a new deal. The previous contract offer reportedly Martial had turned down. He's been in great form this season, Martial, especially early on this season, he was in great form, he was scoring goals for fun, providing, as we all know, just like now under Solskjaer, Pogba's scoring, he's providing, as we all know, just like Rashford is doing the same. But Martial's still a great player. I think he's 22, isn't he, Martial? So he's just like a year older than Marcus Rashford. I think the likes of Martial and Rashford will grow and develop under Solskjaer. But Martial, as I said, he's current representative. I think it was a while back. Give us an update on that. He's representative. His agent was actually pessimistic about him actually signing a new long-term deal at Old Trafford. And his actual representative said during the course last summer, he said regarding Martial that he said Martial wanted to leave reportedly. But as I said, we have not secured him a new long-term deal yet. Same with David De Gea. David De Gea, as I said, he will be staying now anywhere. But when Mourinho was here, he did confirm that actually David De Gea, wanted to stay at Manchester United. But we know in the past, we know he was on the brink of joining Real Madrid in 2015. We know that the likes of Juventus and Paris Saint-Germain, have been linked with him as well. There was linked with him, as we all know. But we have not secured him a new deal yet with Manchester United, David De Gea. He has been here a good 7-8 years now. He's won everything here, of course, apart from the Champions League. I think he's made... Is it over, 300 appearances now in all competitions or something like that, for Manchester United. He's won Clubs Player of the Year 4 out of 5 seasons. He's won Sir Matt Busby Player of the Year. Sir Matt Busby's Player of the Year, quite a few times as De Gea as well. And he's potentially, the best goalkeeper in the world, as I said. And obviously, Ferguson bought him, was it for about 11 million or something like that? No, sorry, not 11, about 17, 18 million pounds, something like that. He grew and developed there fantastically well. I think he won the Europa League, with Atletico Madrid and the Super Cup with Atletico Madrid, as he currently said. But as I said, Real Madrid did not get De Gea in 2015. But as I said, we extended De Gea's, we activated a clause to extend his contract till 2020. But yet we have not signed him a new long-term deal, as we all know. We've got quite a few other players coming to the deal. Same with Andres Pereira. Man United being in talks of securing him a new deal as well. Being no sign of that happening yet. Same with Darmian. He's coming to an end of his deal as well. Smalling has obviously extended his until 2022 now, so he did sign a new deal, did Chris Smalling, as that did confirm quite a few weeks ago, as I did update you on. Valencia and Ashley Young, another set. Who else? There's quite a few in our squad, that are coming tender deals. I think Rashford comes to an end of his in 2020. But yeah, that's really about it. So we have got a lot of players, that are coming tender deals, and that does need sorting out. But I do think players will go, as I do keep saying. Maybe will Juan Mata stay? Will Juan Mata go? As I currently said. But yeah, that's mainly everything to update for today. There's nothing much more to update you guys on today. I already give you the news about Coutinho. There's been rumours about Man United have been in talks with Barcelona. We know that Ivan Perisic, has been mentioned in the press in the last couple of days as well. Obviously, an ex-Manchester United target as well. So yeah, there'll be more live videos coming up today. We'll be doing the Tottenham Manchester United preview probably tomorrow. Just look at a bit of team news, see if Solskjaer gives an update, who he has ideas of who he's going to start in the game, and who he's going to drop. As I said. So anyway, drop your comments, likes below on the channel, guys. If you do consider subscribe to the channel and take